This is position 1 of the G major scale. The scale contains the notes G, A, B, C, D, E, and F sharp. If you were to lay out every location of each of these notes across the fretboard, you would end up with this. The journey to memorizing this might feel like staring up at the peak of a mountain, so much so that you might give up before even trying. However, before you throw your guitar out of the window, you should reconsider, as the major scale is probably the most important scale you could learn. It allows you to view all available intervals across the length of the fretboard, allowing you to visualize chords, scales, modes, and much more, no matter where you lay your hand on the guitar. This makes it a very powerful tool for any guitar player. So is this mountain worth climbing? Absolutely. To make this easier, you simply need to break the journey into bite-sized chunks. We can do this by dividing the fretboard into 5 distinct areas, giving us the 5 positions of the major scale. Position 1 of the G major scale looks and sounds like this. The key to learning each position as quickly as possible is memorization. Allow yourself no longer than a few minutes to drill this scale into your mind and your fingers. After this, find a simple backing track in G major and improvise using the scale. The purpose of this at this stage isn't necessarily to play a meaningful solo, it's more to learn how to navigate the scale in as many different ways as possible to cement the pattern in your memory. Simply ascending and descending the scale will only get you so far, and this process is a lot more fun in context when practiced over music than in isolation. To fully benefit from learning the major scale, you should not only learn each pattern, but most importantly, the interval locations in each pattern. To make this easier, try to consciously target specific intervals such as roots, thirds, and fifths while improvising over backing tracks. This will make it much easier to adjust any interval you like later to form different scales, modes, arpeggios, and chords. For those of you who are already aware of the cage system for guitar, it may also be helpful to see the E form chord within this first scale position. Position 2 of the G major scale looks like this. You will see that the root note location is now on the D string of the guitar, and so it makes sense to play this scale starting on this root note before playing the remainder of the notes in the scale. This scale is based around the D chord form in the cage system, so visualizing this chord inside the scale will help you not only memorize the scale much quicker, but also help you to play this position immediately without having to work your way through any previous positions to arrive at this location. For example, if you wanted to play position 2 of the major scale in the key of B, you would find a B note on the D string, attach a D cage shape, and play the scale. You could of course just find the B note and skip the chord, but the first method gives you 2 for the price of 1. Once again, follow the previous steps to learn the pattern as quickly as possible, followed by improvising and memorizing interval locations. Position 3 of the G major scale looks like this. This position is based around the C form cage shape, which tells us that the root note is now based on the A string. To quickly play this position in any other key, you simply need to find the desired root note on the A string. For example, here's the same position in the key of D, and once again in the key of E. Position 4 of the G major scale looks like this. This position is based around the A form cage shape, which tells us that the root note is now based on the A string, conveniently being the same root note as the previous position. However, you will notice that this position now gravitates towards the higher frets of the guitar. If you needed to play this in any other key, you could visualize a different root note on the A and start from this location, or learn to glue it to the A form chord. For example, here it is in the key of C. Position 5 of the major scale looks like this. This time the scale is based around the G form cage shape, which tells us that the root is based on the E string. This is also the same root note used by the first position of the major scale. If you are already familiar with position 1, then you might find it helpful to learn positions 5 and 2 of the major scale first, because they're located on either side of position 1. Once again, shifting keys is easy. Simply locate a different root note on the E string and attach the scale, chord, or both. For example, the key of B. Once you've mapped out the fretboard with the 5 major scale positions, you will be able to apply any new concept you learn, such as chord building or modes, to the entire fretboard. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.